Hi everyone, good to see you. Today is Wednesday, March 13th, which isn't my typical day to record. I typically record on Thursdays at 7. However, I am not going to be here tomorrow. I'm on my way to Houston for a Stampin' Up convention. So I'm recording this video tonight so I can post it tomorrow. You guys will get the same video tomorrow night at 7, and then it will be uploaded to YouTube as well. But true confession, this recording is recording number 2. I recorded the same video last night and we had some technical difficulties this morning, and as a result, we lost the video I recorded last night. So I'm recording it again. I love this bundle that I'm going to share with you, and so it was fun for me to just be able to come down after work today and cut the kit, and now I'm with all of you. So it's all good. It's all good. Before we actually get into the bundle that I'm going to be using for the cards, I wanted to just go over a few things with you first. So in April, Ray and I are on our way to Greece. It's a bucket list trip. I've wanted to go for such a long time, and we finally get to go. But because we're going to be gone for 2 full weeks, the way that April works out for me, I'm not able to do my face-to-face classes. So as a result, I wanted to come up with something fun to do for my customers and my friends that enjoy coming to the face-to-face classes, and do something special so that they knew that I was thinking of them and I was kind of bringing them on my Greece trip with me, kind of. And that's where the idea of Persephone's Garden was born. So Ray and I were chit-chatting, and Persephone is actually the daughter of Zeus, and she's associated or affiliated with vegetation and spring. And the myth goes that when she returned from the underworld, that signified the start of spring. So because we're going in April, because we're going to Greece, because Persephone is part of Greek mythology, I thought that creating Persephone's Garden would be so fun to share with all of you. So let me go ahead and bring my screen up here, and I'll show you what's in Persephone's Garden. This is a virtual kit, and I think what's so fun about this particular kit is the fact that not only can my face-to-face customers participate in it, but so can all of you. If you're not local to Spring Hill, and I guess I didn't introduce myself, my name is April Davis. I'm with April Davis Creations. I'm an independent demonstrator out of Spring Hill, Kansas. So apologies for that. I'm just so excited, and I practiced this last night. Anyway, you guys are not necessarily, if you live a long ways away, you're not necessarily able to come to my face-to-face classes. So this is an opportunity for you to participate in a virtual class that I'm doing. So what is Persephone's Garden? Persephone's Garden is 10 cards that were created from the gorgeous, I'll get into them, but the gorgeous perennial Ladiner series paper. So I'm going to set it right here for now. But you're going to get 10 cards to make, and these cards are actually made out of the note cards. So let me get through these quickly, and then I'll show you what all comes in the kit. Fun, very pretty cards. I love this designer series paper. So in the kit for Persephone's Garden, you are going to get a half pack of designer series paper. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. You're going to get a 6x12 pack of designer series paper. In addition to the designer series paper, you're going to receive the basic white note cards. Now there are 20 note cards in this pack. We're making 10 cards, so you're going to have 10 cards left over to make an additional set of cards if you choose, because you're also going to have plenty of paper. You're also going to receive, as part of the kit, the Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. So you'll receive a full pack of those. And then I'm going to provide you with enough ribbon For your cards, this is the Pretty Peacock and Gold ribbon. You'll receive enough of this ribbon for your cards, and you'll also receive enough butterflies for your cards. I won't necessarily provide you with a whole bolt of ribbon or a whole pack of butterflies, but you're gonna receive enough to make your card. So we've got that. And what we're doing is we are utilizing the Painted Lavender bundle. All of this goes along with the suite that we've got that comes in the current mini catalog. But if you don't have the Painted Lavender bundle, you can purchase it as an add-on for your kit, or maybe you've got some flowers that will work as well. And maybe you've got something in your library that will fit the need. So you may not need to worry about getting the Painted Lavender bundle. But the Painted Lavender bundle does come with the stamps, and then of course you get the dies as well. Additionally, I have included the Perennial Postage bundle. This bundle, of course, has some great sentiments, but I love the dies that come with this set. There's so many of them, and they actually frame the sentiments, but they look like postage stamps. So we've got that. And again, I utilize them in the cards. You don't necessarily have to have this. If I go to one of my cards that I use that on, basically what you can do is you can just cut the sentiment out squarely versus with the postage, the perennial postage. So you don't need the perennial postage, but it's a fun set to have. So again, just to reiterate, you're going to make 10 cards. You're going to receive enough ribbon and butterflies for your cards. You're going to receive a pack of gems. You're going to receive a full pack of note cards, and you will receive a half pack of the perennial, Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper. So let me move this out of the way and share with you how you can find this. This is my website, aprildaviscreations.com, and when you go to my website, you're going to go up to clubs, classes and clubs. You're going to come down here to Persephone's Garden. When you click on Persephone's Garden will pop up, and it will explain to you what is in the actual class, but what you need to do, which is register here. What I really wanted to highlight here, though, is that registration's been open for a little while now. It closes on March 16th, but it's like 11:55 p.m. So you'll have several days that you can go ahead and register if you're interested. Additionally, you're going to receive a PDF tutorial for every one of the cards. So you've got assistance in making those cards, and I will email that tutorial to you the day that I ship the kit, and the kit will ship approximately April 13th. So we close on the 16th. It gives me a chance to place my order with Stampin' Up, and then I can cut your kits. I know I'll get them in the mail to you at least by the 13th, but perhaps even earlier. And then we leave for Greece on the 14th. So while you're in Persephone's Garden creating, I'm going to be thinking about you and enjoying Greece. So that's what I wanted to share with you, number one. Number two, I wanted to come back up here to classes and clubs. We've got a to-go class going on right now. And I wanted to just kind of highlight a couple things for you with that. If you like the kits or the cards that we talk about tonight, and you decide you want the kit, you're going to get all 3 of the cards times 2. I will send you enough product and supplies to create all 3 cards times 2. What you need to remember is that I can't do any stamping per Stampin' Up's policies. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on the Hot Air Balloon bundle. I will share that with you in just a quick second. But what I want to point out is that if you want the cards to look exactly like the cards that I'm creating tonight, then you're going to want to have that bundle. When you place an order of $40 or more in my store, you will get the kit for free. If you place an order of $50 or more in my store, you get the kit for free. You're also going to get a pack of the rainbow adhesive backed dots. You'll see me use these in the cards tonight. So anyway, that is everything about the to-go class. There is a hostess code that you're going to need to use. I've got it in the to-go class instructions on my website, but I'll just pop that up here real quick so you can see that as well. But that's my clue from you when you place an order that you're interested in the kit. You need to use the host code. All right, so let's come back. I want to really see you again. And I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to introduce you to the cards that we're going to make. We are utilizing the hot air balloon bundle. Comes with the photopolymer stamps, and it also comes with the dies. So we are going to be utilizing pretty much all of these tonight. And the other thing that I wanted to share is that we've got the hot air balloons bundle tonight, but we also have the hot air balloons bundle for a to-go class next week as well. Really, really pretty cards. So we're going to have 2 weeks of to-go class utilizing the hot air balloon. So the first set of cards that we're going to be doing tonight, we've got card number 1 with our balmy blue. We're utilizing lemon yellow, and then we're also utilizing flirty flamingo. So these are going to be so fun to make. And honestly, I just feel like spring is in the air. In fact, I don't know if you can see outside or not. I mean, there's some sun, but the clouds are bubbling up. I think we're supposed to have some storms tonight, but it's all part of spring, right? And I keep thinking about Persephone's garden and welcoming in spring. I feel like hot air balloons welcome in spring as well. You start to see more hot air balloons in the spring. And tonight we're going to be using more pastel colors than what we would be utilizing on Persephone's garden. But I just feel spring in the air. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to work this card first, and we not only are we utilizing the hot air balloon bundle, but I also wanted to share with you the paper that we're utilizing. This paper comes with the set. It's lighter than air paper, and it's a 6x6 set, obviously, but you've got your balloons, and obviously you can cut your balloons out. The dies are set up so that you can actually cut your balloons out, and or you can, this is a bigger die. Let me bring this back. You can cut out the heart-shaped dies. Use the heart-shaped dies to cut out your balloon. Or let me see, I thought I had a smaller one that we could cut out. Oh, do I have it out? I do have it out. It's right here. And so I can line it up with the balloons here and cut that out. So fun. I love it when Stampin' Up! Provides us with paper that we can actually utilize and do some cutting with as well. So we've got this, and of course both sides are always really pretty. This has got a rainbow stripe to it. This one has got a diagonal stripe with pastels on the back side. It looks like netting, if you will. We've got some fresh freesia here, and on the back, these are little, kind of like little daisies, little flowers. They don't have any middles to them, but flowers. We've got some diamonds and some scallops. We've got our lemon lolly. And gosh, I just can't think of what this pattern's called. I've been trying to think about it since I've been down here recutting my kits, and I just can't think of what it's called. But anyway, it's on the Bubble Bath cardstock. And then we've got some dots, some fun dots, and some clouds. So, pretty paper. We're going to be utilizing a lot of them in the next, in this class and then in the class coming. So, let's look at this kit. Put this off to the side. In this kit, we've got some clouds, obviously, but we've got our basic white base, and then we've got a piece of balmy blue that I've embossed, and I've actually embossed it with the 3D painted texture embossing folder. So we've got that to add some definition to it. I've got a piece of scrap so that I can stamp my balloon. I've got a piece of scrap for my sentiment, another cloud, and then a piece of basic white for the layer below my designer series paper. So let's go ahead and let's get our stamping done first. Let me pull this stuff off to the side so it doesn't get misplaced. And the first thing we're going to do is stamp our balloon. Because these are photopolymer stamps, I am bringing in my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm bringing back in my scrap paper that I was utilizing last night when I recorded, and we're going to start with the balmy blue. So we've got our Balmy Blue ink pad. Whoops, turn it right side up. And then this particular balloon is built with 2 stamps. So we're gonna do the Balmy Blue stamp first, and then we're gonna do the inside pieces with the Fresh Freesia. So let's go ahead and get this ready to go. Whoops, just knocked over my stamps. All right, looking to make sure I get a good coverage on it. And then I'm just gonna stamp down here. I am gonna die cut this all out when we're done stamping. So we've got the first set. So now that we've got this stamped, let me go ahead and clean this off. And let me look. Yep, we're ready to move on to the Fresh Freesia. So I'm gonna move this out of the way, close up this ink pad, bring the Fresh Freesia in. All right, so here's our Fresh Freesia. And I'm gonna line this up. I think I've got it right here. Looks good. All right, let's clean this one off. Close this up, bring out the Balmy Blue again. Oh, I'm just kind of a yo-yo tonight, going back and forth because my sentiment is some Fresh Freesia. Okay, so let's do our basket. We'll get there. Okay, so we're gonna clean that off. Bring back the Fresh Freesia again. I try to do all the same colors at the same time, but it's not working out for me tonight. I'm just kind of like a ping pong ball or something. All right, my sentiment is hang in there. And basically what I'm gonna do with this is I am going to cut it out. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to get this lined up so that I only have to cut a couple of edges off of it. So I think I'm gonna go about right here, straight down, straight up, kind of, sort of straight, but that's okay. I'm gonna be cutting around it, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, so we've got that done. Now, all the stamping is done. It's time to die cut my balloons. So I'm gonna move this off to the side, bring in my mini cut and emboss. And let's see, my plates are right here. And I'm gonna bring out, this is the smaller of the balloons. So I'm gonna bring my die out that I had, and I'm gonna utilize some low tack adhesive tape just to hold my die in place. If you don't have tape, you can use washi tape, although I would be careful with washi tape. I've had the experience with washi tape where it really, after you've pushed it through the cut and emboss, it really sticks. And so you may have some issues with it coming up. So I use this low tack, and I'm still careful with it, but I don't really have any problems with it. Or even more, you can use Post-it note. Post-it note works really well. So let me just slide this through, and we'll go ahead and cut this. Pull this out of the way. Put off to the side. So we have our basket and we have our balloon. All right, so we've got that. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trim around my sentiment. So I'm gonna cut on this edge, and then I'm gonna cut across the top and see if that works for me. A little bit, I think I probably need to just cut a little tiny bit off down here. Maybe like this. Okay. Works for me. All right, let's get these scraps out of the way. And now we can start to assemble this card. So let me bring these pieces back in. And we're going to start with our card base. Get this folded. And I'll burnish the edges. And then the first thing we're going to do is adhere our layer, our balmy blue layer. I'll try and get this. Make sure I get that centered appropriately. And then we're also going to create this layer. So I'm going to put my Fresh Freesia Designer Series paper over here. Oh, that's okay. I meant to put it on my Designer Series paper, but I'm going to put it on that piece of cardstock anyway. So there we go. We got it now. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this lined up. I only have like 1/8 of an inch all the way around, so that worked out really well. Okay, so we've got this. Now what we're going to do before we start putting the rest of the card together is I want to adhere the basket to the balloon. And I'm going to bring in my silicone mat just because I'm working with glue and it's easier to get the glue off my silicone mat. So let me go ahead and I'm going to squirt a little bit of this out. I wonder if my glue's getting a little low. Oh, that's a lot. So I'm going to kind of wipe a little bit of that off. And I can just wipe it off there. And then we'll turn this over. Oops, sticking to my fingers. And we'll set this up here. And I'm just going to let that set for just a minute. I'm going to put a block on it. And I'm going to let it set for a minute so it will adhere while I go back and we adhere this layer to the card. So I'm going to get my dimensionals. And let me see. I'm going to get the big ones. And my tweezers. I just like to use my tweezers when I'm putting dimensionals on the card. Give it a little bit more support. And then we'll use the Take Your Pick to take the backings off. Take that. Yep. And then all I have to do is pinch it and I can take this straight to the bin. And then what we'll do is we will adhere this centered, and I think I want my scallops to go up. Do I want my scallops to go up or I want them to go down? I think I'll do them down this time. I did them up last time. So I'm going to change it up. I kind of tend to do that on my cards. It's like, okay, one card I did one way, another card I did another way. Unless I'm mass producing, and I'm not mass producing, so. All right, so we've got that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our balloon and we're going to put dimensionals on the back of it. And let me see, I've got some little mini dimensionals. I'm actually going to grab those and put one right there on my basket. All right, take these off. There we go. Oh. And we'll go ahead and we'll, oh, you know what I did? Oh my gosh, guys, I messed up. Are you surprised? I do tend to mess up. Not a lot, but I do mess up. I meant to put my twine around my base before I put it down. So we're going to pull out the handy dandy undo that I keep right by my side for situations just like this. And this will actually give you an opportunity to see what I do with my mat as well. So the undo, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I have my finger over the opening just so that I can control the flow of the undo that's coming out. Because really I just need to undo the dimensionals. It's a magic product. I don't know how it works, but it does an amazing job. Let me get into these undos down, or these little dimensionals down here. There we go. Got the whole thing off. I had a little bit of tearage, but not a lot, and part of that was my fault. But basically, what I'll do is, you can see that it got a little bit on here. This is gonna dry. By the time we get ready to adhere it again, it's gonna dry. And where I did have the tearing, it actually is gonna be covered by the card. So undo saves my life more times than not. Actually, it doesn't save my life, it saves my cards more times than not. But that makes me happy because I don't wanna toss any of my cards if I can fix them. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna pull out the balmy blue twine, and we're gonna go ahead, and I'm keeping this face up because I don't want to, this is actually, this little dot dimensional is gonna actually help me out a little bit. I'm gonna put it on this side because I want room to be able to tie my bow. So I'm gonna wrap it around once, I'm gonna wrap it around twice, and then because I've got these dimensionals on the back, this is actually gonna be fun. I'm gonna put them on my silicone mat, stick them down so it will hold my card in place or my layer in place, I should say, while I'm trying to tie the bow, which is gonna make this really easy for me. Normally I have to kind of juggle it, but because it's holding it in place, I don't have to worry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie my bow and get that done, and I can make it nice and tight. It's not moving around. So we'll go ahead and get that bow tied. Pull it this way. We've got a little end here. Just kind of finessing the bow to make it the size that I want it to be. Tucking in my tails. Okay, so I really just need to trim off this one tail. The other one is really the perfect size. So we've got that. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just take, so that my bow stays in place, I'm going to take a glue dot. I'm going to kind of ball it up on the end of my take your pick. Can you see that little bitty dot of glue? Crazy. All right, well anyway, I'm going to tuck it in right underneath this bow so that my bow stays in place. So now I've got it tucked in under my bow. All's good with my bow. Move this out of the way. And now I'm ready to put this on my card. And I wanted to show you, you can see where that was wet. It has since dried. This product is amazing. My silicone mat is amazing because look how easy that pulled up. These are all sticky on the back. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're all sticky on the back. So we're going to pretend like that never happened. But honestly, even though I don't make mistakes on purpose, I'm glad when I do make mistakes because I love being able to show you how to fix them. So there we go. It's just like it never happened. Let me move that out of the way. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our clouds and we're gonna add our sentiment. So the first cloud I'm going to add is gonna go right here. And I think I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna check to see, but I think I'm gonna put just a little bitty dimensional on this side. I'm gonna take a mini and I'm gonna put it on this side. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've got dimensionals on my card base. And so if I bring this over, I don't want it to have some floppiness. I don't think I did it on this card. I didn't. And so you can see there's a little bit of floppiness there. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But if I go ahead and put a dimensional here, there is no floppiness. So let me go ahead and get the rest of this adhered down. And then we'll do the same thing on our other cloud. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna just tuck it right up next to my card. Okay. We've got cloud number 1, and then I'm going to take cloud number 2, and we're going to do the same thing. It's going to go about right here. So that means my dimensional is going to go on this end. So we'll pull a dimensional out. I'm going to put it about right there. I'm going to put glue on this side. It'll glue, adhere to the balloon. I'm going to bring this down about right here. Let's see. There we go. So now we've got our clouds. So let's do this again. The other thing that I was looking at is it looks like I have a little bit of glue on my cloud. So I'm just going to take my adhesive eraser, a staple in my toolkit, and that way I can remove that glue that happened to be there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere down our sentiment. And what I'm doing is I'm just trimming a piece off the edge of my dimensionals, and I'm going to use this strip for my sentiment. So I'll move that off to the side and then peel the backing off. Layer it down on my sentiment, since this is just a little sentiment. And peel this off, and now I'm ready to go ahead and adhere this. So let's put hang in there right about here. Did I get that where I wanted it? Maybe down just a little bit more. Or there we go. All right, so now what I'll do to finish this card off is I'm going to bring in the iridescent rhinestones. And we're just using the clear iridescent rhinestones, but in a previous project, you can see that I actually was using my Stampin' Blends to color my rhinestones because I wanted some color bling and I didn't have it. So I colored them with my Stampin' Blends, and the Stampin' Blends, you can do that and it just colors right over it. All right, so let me take my take your pick, and I'm going to take a big one, that big rhinestone, and I'm going to place it maybe right here. We'll take one of the littler ones. I'm going to put it up here on the balloon, and then I'm going to take more of a medium-sized one, and I'll put it up over here by the cloud. All right, so now we have card number 1 done. So pretty. I love balloons. Okay, so let's move on to card number 2. Card number 2, we're going to be using our azure blue and lemon lolly. So let me pull in the kit for this one. And I changed it up a little bit too. So we've got the azure blue card base, and then we've got the lemon lolly. But I decided instead of using the painted texture embossing plate, I wanted to use the 3D embossing folder layered florals. And I think it's so pretty. I love this. Let's see if I can turn it a little bit so you guys can see. So pretty. Okay, so we've got the lemon lolly, and then we've got some more azure blue because we're going to create another layer with the designer series paper. And then we're going to put our balloon here, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment here. All right, I've got everything. So let's start by, we can start by stamping. So I'm going to take this piece, and we are going to stamp in the fresh freesia, which is right here. We're going to stamp the basket for the balloon. So I'm going to bring in my mat again. I love using my mat when I'm stamping with the photopolymer stamps. So bring this up and then tap, tap, tap. Make sure I got good coverage. And I'm going to, not at the bottom, but right about there I think is good. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to clean this up. And we will stamp in the Azure Afternoon ink. We're going to stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to open this up, and our sentiment is Wish Big. So I'm going to bring this piece in and stamp it right in the middle because we're going to punch it out. So wish big. Okay? All right. Okay, so now I can move this out of the way. Let's start to assemble this card. So we'll take the card base, fold it in half, go ahead and burnish the edges. And then I'm going to take my Lemon Lolly layer, and let me see, which direction do I want it to go? I think I want it to go this direction. All right, so let's go ahead and get it glued down. I always end up having to use a little bit more glue on my embossed layers because you've got the peaks and the valleys, if you will, from the embossing. I want to make sure that I have enough glue so that it will adhere to my cardstock. The valleys may not adhere quite as well as the peaks do. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's work on this layer. So we've got a piece of designer series paper that's going to go at the top. So we'll go ahead and get this down. And then once I have this down, then all the rest of it follows suit. This is the one that will provide all the guidance. Okay, so we've got that. Let's take this one. Gosh, I wish I could remember. What's the name of that pattern? Oh, you guys, you can leave me a comment and tell me because I just can't remember the name of this pattern. All right, anyway, I'm going to have to Google it or something. Or you guys can leave me a comment. All right, that looks even. Now we'll take this piece of basic white that I have stamped. That's all it's got. That's it. And we'll go ahead and get it adhered down. Spacing it appropriately. Oops, and I gotta make it straight though. Okay. I have wiggle room with my glue. All right. The balloon is gonna go down with dimensionals. So I'm gonna bring back the dimensionals so we can get this down. Pretty hard. Okay. There we go. This one away. I'm going to center my balloon on its basket, probably about right here. Make sure my handles are touching. All right, got my balloon, and now I need to punch out my wish big. I am using the double oval punch. It's got a decorative punch to it, and then it's got a plain punch to it. I'm actually going to be using the plain punch. And so basically what will need to happen is I need to be able to get my piece of cardstock in here so that I can get it lined up. Now, for this one, I potentially, the way that it's set up, I could punch it right now. It's actually lined up. But I do want to show you that had I used a smaller piece, I might have needed some assistance. And so basically what I do is I take a Post-it note, I just add it to the back, then I can bring this back in. And now I can use the Post-it note to hold it not only in place, but also allow me to move it back and forth until I get it to a place where I want to punch. And when I do get it to a place where I want to punch, then I just punch. There we go. All right, so let's move that off to the side. And we're going to also put dimensionals on the back of Wish Big. So let's go ahead and get that done. We'll get this centered on this piece of designer series paper. That looks good to me. I think it can maybe go over just a tad this way. So let me move it over just a tad. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this to the card. So this one I just put on flat. I didn't use any dimensionals. I'm feeling it right now. I want to use dimensionals. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add dimensionals to this, and we'll just see the difference in the texture and the dimension of the card when we take this layer and we add a dimensional to it, or add dimensionals to it. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and take these off. Oh, this one. Okay. Make sure my card opens the right way. Ask me how I know that I need to check that. I have been known to put my card together upside down. I think I need to bring this down just a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Set it, and then I'm just going to pick it up before I actually push it down so that I have a little bit of wiggle room. That looks good. All right, we're going to do that. So a couple more things we need to do. We need to do our balmy blue bow. And because this twine is so thin, I'm basically going to do a double bow. So we'll go ahead and get that tied and arranged the way that I want it. That looks good. And then I'm just going to cut the very end of it off, which will allow me to open up that one end, because that one end was a loop. There we go. Okay, is that what I want, or do I want to go a little bit shorter? Let's see. I think it's fine. All right, so what I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I'm going to take my take your pick. I'm going to take my dots, and I'm going to roll a ball with my glue dot. And then I'm going to adhere it right here next to this Wish Big. So I might have to help it out a little bit. It's pretty sticky. There we go. And now what I'll do is I'll take my knot on my bow, and I'm going to adhere it to the glue dot. And now that's ready to go. And then the last thing I will do, if I can find them, they're here. Yes, I'm going to take our dots, the rainbow adhesive backed dots, and I'm going to add some dots to our card for some, it's not shiny bling, it's just pretty bling. So we'll do this one, and we're going to put that one here. We'll take a little azure blue one, we're going to put it down here, and then we're going to bring in some yellow, and I will put the yellow one over here. All right, there you go. Card number 2 is done. Tell me what you think about the fact that I've popped it up. Here's the one that's not popped up. It's flat. And here's the one that is popped up. It just gives it a little bit more dimension, I think. All right, card number 2. Card number 3 is this one. I'm looking for that kit. All right, I think I'm going to pull this back in for some scrap. I had a smaller piece of scrap for it, but this will give me more room. So this is Fleur de Flamingo cardstock. Then we have Bubble Bath cardstock. We have a piece of Designer Series paper, a banner. We've got some intricate detail for our balloon. I actually have a little bit of tape on it. I'm going to pull this off. I was using it to cut the dies, and I cut a lot of this stuff ahead of time because I really do try to keep this live or recorded live at about an hour. And sometimes if I don't do the die cutting ahead of time, then we typically tend to go over. And sometimes we'll do that anyway, depending upon the techniques we have. But I do try to keep it at right about an hour. So let me pull all of this stuff off to the side. We've got a couple things we need to stamp. So I'm going to bring in the Fleur de Flamingo. And I'm going to turn this around. And we're going to stamp our balloon. And this time we are stamping a big balloon. Make sure everything's good. I may have to test it because it was on its front. It fell over onto its front. So I'm bringing my base again, my piercing mat, and tap, tap, tap. Make sure I get good coverage on it. I'm looking. I'm just gonna test it. Looks good to me. All right, so let's go ahead, ink that back up again. I'm gonna bring this up and we're gonna stamp right here. I also need to stamp my basket. So I'm gonna do that. I'm not changing ink color, so that's good. Let me clean this off real quick. Let me do it over here. So I'll do that. My basket is right here. So get that coated. Actually got my corner in it, in the ink. So we've got our basket. Clean this off. And then the last thing we're gonna stamp on the banner is our sentiment. And our sentiment is up, up and away, hooray, it's your birthday. So let me get that inked and centered as best I can. This is good right here. There you go. All right. Now we can start to assemble. Oh, well, not yet. Now we need to die cut. So let me pull this out of the way. And I'm gonna bring this back in. The cut and emboss. And I'm looking for my dies. Let's see, I need the big one this time. So bring this in, get it lined up. I'm gonna use some of the tape that I had just to hold the die in place. I'm gonna do the same thing for my basket. Get that lined up. Tape. Put that down. And then my plates are right here. So I'm just gonna push that through. Let's double check, make sure that didn't move too much. Do I have more tape over here? I thought I had an extra loose piece. So I'm gonna lay this down and we're gonna crank it through. Oops, and it pushes down my stamp. Because when I store my stamps, I set them up like this. I don't usually lay them flat because they take up so much room. So I lay them like this, and when I'm using my cut and emboss sticks out the back and it knocks my stamps down. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take this apart. These two pieces, get the scrap out of the way. Pull this apart. There's our balloon. Here's our basket. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this balloon and basket that I did with the other one. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started as far as gluing it down. So let me get my silicone mat again. Bring it in, and that way, oh, I don't want to lose that, so I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and get some glue down on these handles. And then we can take the balloon and place it about right here. Actually, I'm going to do something different. I want to make sure. Well, hold on a second. Let me do it this way because I can still adjust it. What I'm trying to do is I want to make sure that I have enough of my basket available for my cutout, and I don't want my basket to be hanging out. And I guess if it did hang out a little bit, I could cut it off. But basically what that tells me is I need to bring my balloon down just a little bit more. Get that on there, and then when I glue this on, it aligns properly. I hope that made sense. It's just that because this is one piece, it needs to cover both the basket, but it needs to line up appropriately with the balloon as well. And if I didn't get it lined up exactly or close, then potentially my basket would be underneath the intricate piece. All right, let's keep putting this balloon together. So this designer series paper is going to go across the middle. And we'll go ahead and get this lined up. Okay. Now we can put down our intricate pieces. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to hold my tweezers, or have my tweezers hold my intricate piece. Excuse me. So I can get the glue on it. I don't need a lot of glue, but I want to go very lightly with the glue because I don't want it squishing out. So my precision tip glue bottle really helps with this. This is Stampin' Up's Tombow glue, but it does help with me getting my glue in just the right places. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay this piece down, get it lined up with the edges of the balloon. And I'm going to use a block to lay on top of that while I do the exact same thing on my basket. And the rest of the balloon. So I'm just going to do a little tiny bit. You probably can't even see that I'm getting glue on there. That piece, just a tiny bit more than what I wanted, but it's got glue. So now I can bring this in and I'm going to put it right up next to the other piece that we had. And now I need to do some aligning because I want to make sure that I get it moved over enough that my basket is covered. So I'm going to slide it over so that my basket is covered. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Give that glue a chance to adhere. While that is adhering, I'm going to create this layer. I'm going to take the designer series paper and I'm going to add it to our bubble bath cardstock. Bubble something. I think it's bubble bath. All right, let's go ahead and get this down. Okay, this all looks good. And here's the deal. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on the last card because this is flat. And I'm just thinking I want a little bit more dimension on here. I know my balloons popped up, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop up this layer too. So we're going to take the card base and I'm going to fold it in half. Make sure I get it lined up appropriately. So we'll get that folded in half. And then I'm going to take this layer and I'm going to put some dimensionals on it. See, now last night when I was recording, I did it the exact way that I did it before. But here I am doing it again due to technical difficulties. And I'm having fun because I'm just kind of shaking it up a little bit and doing a few things differently this time around that I didn't do last time. All right, so let's go ahead and get that. I want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. I'm going to take my take your pick, the pointing end, and get these little dimensional backs off. Okay, got it. Oop, that one. There we go. And there we go. Love it when I can just toss them in the bin. All right. So this piece is going to go down in the lower right-hand corner. So I'm going to get that centered best I can. I'm just laying it, looking at it. Did I get it straight? Maybe not so much on this end. I just want to come up just a tad, laying it, making sure I'm straight. I like that. Oh, I can already tell I like it. All right, let's move this off to the side. And let's go ahead and get our balloon prepped for adhering to the card. I already know I'm going to use a little dimensional on the basket. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals again, my larger dimensionals. And let's get this balloon ready to go. So I'm going to, let me see. It's going to be this side. So I don't want my dimensionals to go out too far on the edge of that side, because that side is the side that is going to be hanging over my card. All right. So we'll get these off. Oop, there we go. There we go. All right, let's take this and we're gonna line it up right here on the edge. Hang it over just a tad. Down low, my balloon's down low. Popped up. Yay! And we're gonna pop up our sentiment as well. So bring the dimensionals back out again. Tonight is a night full of dimensionals. I use a lot of dimensionals. I love dimensionals. All right, pop this off. And we're ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna take this and I'm gonna hang this over. Let me see. Let me think about what I want to do here. Am I hanging this over enough? I'm just looking. I'll tell you what I'm doing here in just a second. Okay, what I'm going to do is this one is going to hang over more. And because this is already popped up, now what I have to do is I have to build up this dimensional so that it matches. So these two are going to layer on the top of this card, but because this has already got a layer and I'm trying to pop this up, I have to have two on this end. So let me take that off. And see, I didn't do that on the last card, but because I've changed things up a little bit, I have to adjust. All right, so let's take this and I just want to make sure I get it right off to the side. I'm kind of depending on it to tell me when I'm going to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and make sure I want it where I want, I have it where I want it. I do. And see, now everything's even. Oh, I do love the dimension though. Look at that pretty dimension. All right, a couple more things to do. Now we're going to use the Lemon Lolly twine. Do the same thing I did last time. We're going to take it, we're going to fold it in half. We're going to make a double bow. So let's go ahead and get that going. Get my bow made. And then get it adjusted the way that I want it. My tails go in the right direction. I know I'm talking to you guys for the recording, but if I'm being honest, I talk like this when I'm creating. I'm just kind of talking to myself while I'm creating. What am I going to do next? Oh, you need to trim off your tails. You're going to get your tails going in the right direction, whatever it might be. All right. But I was listening to myself and I'm like, I sound just like I normally do. I talk to myself. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it keeps me company, I guess. All right, let's roll up this ball yet again. And I'm going to adhere it to the right side of this balloon. And then we'll take the knot. We're going to lay the knot of the bow right on the glue dot. So now that's adhered. And then the last thing that we will do, we are going to use our rhinestones. So let me pull out my take your pick. And I'm going to take a big rhinestone and I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to take a little rhinestone and I'm going to put it right up here on my balloon. And now this card is done. So it is a little bit different. There's more dimension to this card. You can kind of see it as I turn it. Let's turn it the right way. See the dimension on it? I like the dimension. This card was fine. It was fine. But I don't know. I really love the fact that I popped this layer up. It really added a lot more dimension. Because I'll be honest with you, when I was looking at this tonight while I was cutting the kit, I thought, I don't know, just plain cardstock. I guess it wasn't really bothering me, but it's like, I just want something else. And it's like, April, you don't need to have your cardstock have design or embossing on it all the time like I had on the other cards. And so honestly, just popping up this layer to me made a big difference. So let's look at all three of the cards again. This was last night's, this was tonight's, and then we've got these cards, and I think this was the first one we did maybe, and then we've got this card. I do love the fact that I changed it up and I used the layered florals embossing folder. I also like the fact that I popped up that layer as well. I mean, just tell the difference. It's like 3D cards now. Anyway, love these cards. And I've got plenty now to share with my friends and loved ones. So the fact that I had to re-record this tonight, not a big deal. I love doing this. So let me come back and see you. Thank you for joining me. This will go live recorded tomorrow, and then it'll be on YouTube on Friday as well. I'm really excited to be in Houston to hook up with all of my friends and catch up with them. But I'm also excited to learn about what Stampin' Up's got in store with us, the new catalog that's open, the annual catalog that becomes available in May will be revealed. So we'll get to see a lot of the new items that are in the new catalog. Plus, I'll be able to come home with a few sneak peeks that I can share with you. So, reminder, Persephone's Garden. If you're interested, go to my website, aprildaviscreations.com. And then, of course, we've got the to-go class with the first set of hot air balloon cards. So if you're interested in that information for ordering that kit is out on my website as well. Don't forget to use the hostess code. I'm so glad you guys joined me tonight. I can't wait to see you next week when I am live. So I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.